Today on the channel, we take a look at the Build-A-Figure from the Age of Apocalypse wave, Colossus. We also rank from my least favorite to my favorite the entire wave. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we conclude Age of Apocalypse Marvel Legends Round 2, Series 2, whatever we want to call that out there. But I love the Age of Apocalypse, and I was so happy to get to unbox these on the channel, and so happy to have these in my collection, as I truly do love the Age of Apocalypse, as I said in those videos. Prime comic book reading ears for me were during the Age of Apocalypse, so it does hold a special place in my heart. And I was happy to unbox these, and I was happy to get a Build-A-Figure. So we did this, we put the Build-A-Figure together, and it's Colossus. I figured I would put it on off camera, as this one fought me a little bit, especially on the head, and we'll talk about it here in a sec. But we're going to do this review, we're going to talk about Colossus, I'm going to say what I like, don't like, all that kind of fun stuff. But then we're going to rank this entire wave from my favorite figures, or I should say we'll go the other way. We'll go from least favorite to favorite, put them in order in a quick version of as to why. So let's take a look at this Colossus first. A big hulking figure like we're accustomed to with Build-A-Figures over the years. We are always getting big figures. I always feel cheapened out when you get a small figure as a Build-A-Figure. I wasn't actively collecting for Build-A-Figures and stuff back in the day, but I remember Hit Monkey coming out. Talk about a terrible Build-A-Figure. Puck, as much as I like Alpha Flight, and I liked Puck back in the day, I really felt like you get taken advantage of when you get a Puck as a Build-A-Figure. It just doesn't seem right. He's more of an accessory is what he feels like. But this Colossus, you can't argue too much about this Colossus. A very solid, big Build-A-Figure. You know it's Colossus, but he's got some differences. It is the Age of Apocalypse. He has seen some things. The mild-mannered, nice Piotr is a little bit more vicious, a little bit more violent, gets things done whenever he needs to. And he's got a nice kind of bandana going on over his whole face. It reminds me a lot of like a pirate. It's kind of a pirate Colossus is what you could call this one. But he does got that big shoulder overlay guard kind of thing going on here. He's got the silver chest all over the place like we're used to with Colossuses. That's what gives him his Colossus-ness, I guess we'd say. But then he's got these bracers on the red on each arm with kind of a little flare off to the side. He's got red on the little arm things on his elbow joints. Nice silver accents to the red shoulder pads going on. And very similar how he's got the forearm guards. He's got the same kind of down on his legs here. He does not have double jointed knees, or does he? I guess I can't see. It is kind of blocked there. He does have double jointed knees. I didn't think he did. Does he have double jointed elbows? It doesn't seem to be the case, and if it does, you don't get the articulation. It's limited by these anyways. But the red, the yellow pops like we're used to with Colossus. We're used to those kind of things. One cool thing about this Build-A-Figure, and I got him right here, he did come with extra hands. I'm not sure, somebody could correct me in the comments, if we ever got Build-A-Figures with extra hands, I'm not thinking of one off the top of my head right here, so I do think that's a nice touch there. He does have this little strand of kind of bandana that goes in the back. It just plugs right in. I will say, though, if you're a player, this will get knocked out. It doesn't stick real good in there. It's tight enough for display, but it could get bumped and knocked off and all that kind of fun stuff. And I will say the head was really tough to go in, but the legs went in pretty easy. The arms went in pretty easy. Had to fight the head a little bit. Your mileage may vary. You might have arms that go in weird. That's kind of the way it goes with Build-A-Figure. Sometimes you need to take it to the next level. You got to even hit the hairdryer or hit the hot water to get your Build-A-Figures together. But he does fit together pretty nicely, and I don't have any issues with the arms falling out or legs falling out people have out there. He's got a lot of articulation. He's got the bicep swivel too. I didn't mention that. And he's got the thigh swivel as well. And then he's got an ab kind of crunch going on in the abs. So we do got some articulation here for this bigger style Colossus figure, but it truly is Age of Apocalypse version of Colossus. Not my favorite character in the Age of Apocalypse saga, but I love to get big figures and I love to flush out this universe. And we're going to rank these as well. And I do hope next year we get a Series 3 Age of Apocalypse. I know some of you guys are probably groaning because this isn't everybody's cup of tea in the X-Men universe. I totally understand that. I totally get that. But hopefully we get a Series 3. I'd love to see some of the Gambits and Cables of the world, maybe Bishop. maybe some other characters out there. I think there's a lot still to go in this universe. I think there's some more characters that we could easily flush out. So fingers crossed for me. You guys in the comments can tell me your thoughts on how you see it and what you'd like to see. But how about we compare this Colossus to a few others? Now, here's a favorite of mine. I know this one, once again, is not for everybody, but it's Colossus from the Marvel Select wave. Marvel Select figures, I should say. Diamond Select, Marvel Select. Love this Colossus. I know a lot of people love to use this Colossus with their Marvel Legends because they feel it is the right size Colossus. I have two different X-Men shelves going on, so I have this Colossus in one, and then I got the Juggernaut 2-pack Colossus in another one. So I have to have those going. And then there's another Colossus I have as well. And I can't remember where I have that one displayed. But these are my two prime Colossuses in my collection. And obviously this Colossus will go with the Age of Apocalypse. But they've done a great job on a Colossus over the years. The Marvel Select and the Marvel Legends. This one a little different tune, of course. But I do like this. I do like the looks of it. It is a pretty solid Build-A-Figure. And like I said in the earlier reviews of Sabretooth, I assumed Sabretooth would be the Build-A-Figure in the Age of Apocalypse line. But it didn't happen that way. So they threw us a nice little curveball there. So I do appreciate that every once in a while. So there's a Colossus comparison right there. Now let's get down to it. Now it's time to rank them in order. All right, the time has come to rank these 8 figures from my least favorite to my favorite. And this is actually a very tough ranking. Out of all the lines we do rankings of, pretty much every wave of figure, I rank them in order like this. This has been the hardest one for me to rank. I really do like every single one of these figures here. They are very strong, very solid. They're what I think of when I think Age of Apocalypse. And maybe that's I got blinders on because I do love the story arc so much, but I love all these figures. And I do think Series 2 was better than Series 1 for the Age of Apocalypse figures. So they have improved upon and gave me cooler characters, I feel, in this set than the first set. And like I said, fingers crossed, Series 3 Age of Apocalypse, I would love to see it. But let's start off. Number 8 for me, maybe you know where this one's going. I'm going Cyclops at number 8. I know that's a little shocking to some. There's a lot of people that love Cyclops, but I remember him being a little more grimy, I guess, with the beard and stuff like that. I just remember him having a little bit more toughness and more look to him. And then we are falling behind here. We don't have any effects for his eyes. We don't have any weapons. So it just feels like he was the one that kind of got the scraps, and there was no scraps left to give him. So he just seems a little bit plain compared to some of the other figures out there. But like I said, still a solid figure. Still a figure I do like a whole lot, but he is number 8 for me. And then moving on to number 7, I'm going with Kitty Pryde Shadowcat. Maybe that surprises some people as well. A good enough figure. It just feels very feminine for figures too for Marvel Legends. I like that a lot about this one. She feels very feminine, where other figures are more covered up, and but this one really feels like a butt-kicking female figure. I have some gripes with the elbows being fused here. I gotta heat them up and bend them, but that's your mileage will vary. Obviously, other people will have ones that are probably fine and stuff. But as far as the other characters in my love of them, that's part of the reason she's down here at number 7 for me. So those two are really easy to go here. And number 6 for me is going to be a little bit of a surprise, I think, as I'm a little surprised as well, as I'm going Magneto. I don't know. It's weird because the childhood Toy Biz Magneto was such a favorite of mine. I just absolutely loved that figure. That was my playing Magneto. That was my Magneto I had on my display shelf. I loved that one for a lot of years. I do love this one. This one is extremely strong, but I guess it's not as different from the other Magnetos. And we showed a comparison to the 3-pack Magneto. Outside of the heads, there's not a ton of difference there. It's still an extremely strong figure, and I do like this one. It's just coming in at number 6 for me. So then we turn our attention to number 5. This is getting more and more challenging as we go. And number 5 is another one. So I loved this character back in my Toy Biz days as well, and I love this now, and I feel this is his best Marvel Legends figure to date. I'm going that way. But I'm going old Iceman at number 5. Kind of a surprise there. I love the translucent plastic. I love a lot about this. I don't know. It's just somebody's got to be at number 5, and as trying to rank these is extremely tough, as I said. And I'm putting Iceman at number 5. But man, this is a solid figure, and like I said, my favorite Iceman figure ever. So very cool there. All right, now we got to go. It's getting tougher and tougher. This is really hard to decide here. And I'm going to maybe shock some people, maybe not, but I'm going Rogue. Some of you guys are probably saying you're surprised Rogue isn't farther on this end of the spectrum. I'm a sucker for green and gold, an Oakland A's fan, but I do love the head sculpt on this Rogue. This just looks like it jumped out of the comic books. I just love the looks to this Rogue. Very, very cool. And Rogue was a popular character for me in the Age of Apocalypse as well. And I want to say this is my favorite Rogue figure, actually. The other ones are so iconic. That's your everyday Rogue that I remember from the animated series. I remember from the comics. But just figure-wise, I really do like this figure a whole lot. So very, very cool Rogue figure. Very high on my list and higher than maybe some of you guys would assume it would be. So now we get down to the final three. And this is very tough. This is very tough for me. But number three... And these are all close. These are all close, I should say that. But I'm going Legion number 3. Some of you guys, a lot like Rogue, are probably surprised this is far up as it is on the list. But it feels like a new character we really haven't gotten. It's a very important character to the Age of Apocalypse universe. A very cool figure as well. I love the skin tone on this. I love the bright blue, kind of grimy jumpsuit he's got going on. And then the head sculpt, absolutely next level. I love the kid and play hair. Just a really, really cool, solid figure. And I could see people buying this for other figure lines and stuff like that, getting reused to it. Because this is just one of those figures you see on the shelf. Wow, that's a cool figure. And that's how I see it. So now, surprise, surprise. I didn't count on it to work this way, but we're down to 2 big figures as my favorite and my second favorite of the line. And I am going for number 2. And you're probably not surprised if you guys know old Kyle. I'm going to go Colossus at number 2. Big figure, Build-A-Figure, looking like a pirate, just looking big, looking bad, extra set of hands. There's a lot to like about this Colossus here. I don't know if it's as fair as these are regular figures. This is a Build-A-Figure, a little bit more tooling, a little bit more to it, but it's still a very solid figure, and I do enjoy this one. Just looks really cool. This is really going to stand out on the shelf as well, being big, red, silver with a little bit of yellow. Really catches your eye, and Colossus is pretty cool. Not my favorite character out of these guys, but as far as toyeticness and toy features, he's coming in at number 2, which leaves old Victor Creed Sabretooth at number 1. I'm a sucker for Wolverine. You guys know Wolverine's my favorite. I'm a sucker for Sabretooth, Wolverine's greatest villain. And to get the world flipped on its head where Sabretooth is a good guy was an awesome piece of the Age of Apocalypse story. I loved Wild Child. I love the addition of this new character, Wild Child, that was kind of, I always classified it as Sabretooth's pet, but his partner in crime. He had him on a leash, would sick him on people. But this Sabretooth figure is good. It is a little bit plain in the color department, but we get extra head, you get extra hair, you get extra hands with this one. Just a lot to like, and Sabretooth being one of my favorite villains of all time, especially Wolverine villains, and me loving the Wolverine universe, plus the Age of Apocalypse universe. I just couldn't deny that Sabretooth was number 1 for me. But like I said earlier, all in all, this set is fabulous. If you love the Age of Apocalypse, you're all in on this. You're feeling the same way I am. I get this isn't for everybody, but they did a phenomenal job across the board on all these figures. These are some of my favorite figures we have received from Marvel Legends, definitely in 2021, but even beyond. And I do feel this series was better than the first series we got last year. So it'll be interesting how this does on the pegs. They're hitting Walmart right now pretty hard. Definitely go to Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. Support the channel, all that fun stuff. You can order them on there as well. But definitely pick these up if you can. It'll be interesting. Like I said, will they go to clearance? I don't know. I don't know if this set will. But we'll see what happens out there. But you guys in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this set. Anybody stick out? Can you put them in order for you? Are you planning on picking these up? Are you passing? Are you a fan of the Age of Apocalypse? A lot to unpack. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Make sure you like this video. You made it this far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. We got videos every single day, including every Marvel Legend wave. This week we did this one. I'm thinking next week we'll probably unbox the What If wave. We're going to have Eternals to unbox. We're probably going to have that new Spider-Man wave too. So there's going to be a lot of Marvel Legends on the channel over the next month or so. Along with all the other reviews of NECA Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, and He-Man, and then of course wrestling. There's just a lot going on right now to carry us through 2021. And at the end of the year, of course, we'll do our famed top 10 list where I dissect every single line and give my top 10 figures of the year. So stay tuned for that. At the end of the day, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And then follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. So for the Age of Apocalypse, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.